It is official that the pound-for-pound king, Terence Bud Crawford, has agreed in principle to face off against the 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar, first ballot Hall of Famer, Saul Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez has agreed. Terence Crawford, we knew he was going to agree. And they're working out the details to showcase their talents. Riyadh season, Cinco de Mayo weekend in May.
Hate me, but I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Hell of a fight. Hell of a fight.
Hate me, but I think it's a 50-50 fight. It's really, really hard for me to see Canelo losing to Crawford. But it's also, there's things that I can see that Crawford is so is so good at.
Yeah.
That it's like, I can't see him not being able to be sharp and do that round after round.
Canelo versus Crawford, a battle of skill and strength. Can Crawford overcome the odds at a higher weight class? Pros weigh in. Berlanga thinks Crawford's legendary skills might pull it off. But will the weight difference be too much for the welterweight champion? Let's find out in this epic showdown.
You know, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you can't.
Renowned boxing trainer Andre Rosier shared his thoughts on Terence Crawford potentially moving up to face Canelo Alvarez. While Crawford is fresh off a welterweight win, Rosier feels the jump to a higher weight class for a fight with Canelo might be a step too far.
The only thing he could possibly do at this point to regain that status is to beat someone of note in another weight class.
Rosier believes Crawford moving to 154 pounds could make sense, but he's skeptical about facing Canelo, calling it a risky move and questioning the potential success of such a leap.
I think 54 is going to be enough for him. Him going up to fight and quote unquote, if it should happen, Canelo, I don't see that ending well. It's just too much and too far to go. But that's what it would.
Rosier's warning underscores the massive challenge Crawford faces against a pound-for-pound superstar, especially with such a weight disadvantage. Is Crawford taking on more than he can handle, or does he have what it takes to stun the world once more? Canelo Alvarez shares his views on a possible showdown with Terence Crawford, sparking worldwide excitement among passionate boxing fans.
And yes, it is official that the pound-for-pound king, 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, and reigning WBA junior middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Terence Bud Crawford, future first ballot Hall of Famer, undefeated, 41 wins, no loss, no draw. 31 big wins by way of knockout. 37 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach, has agreed in principle. We knew he was going to agree to face off against the 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar, first ballot Hall of Famer, former undisputed super middleweight world champion, and reigning unified super middleweight world champion, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican boxing superstar, has hinted at a potential clash with Terence Crawford, igniting excitement for what could be one of boxing's most anticipated battles. This thrilling matchup would showcase two elite fighters at the absolute peak of their remarkable careers.
Terence Crawford, his name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
You know, I always say if it's a fight.
Canelo versus Crawford is shaping up to be an epic clash. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, rules his division with raw power and pinpoint accuracy. On the other side, Crawford, hailed as one of this era's finest, wields unmatched technical skill and sharp strategy, solidifying his spot atop the pound-for-pound rankings.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter. But
Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champ, isn't backing down from the idea of fighting Terence Crawford. While Crawford's move to a higher weight class stirs debate, Canelo confidently sees it as a chance to dominate. Speaking on Sway's Universe, he made it clear he's ready for the challenge and views the fight as an opportunity to make a powerful statement.
Said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford.
Fine.
Yeah.
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, hands down.
That'll work. So if yeah, you're in. So if the numbers were right with Crawford, you'll do it.
Why not? Why not? I think Crawford don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money.
Canelo believes his size advantage over Crawford gives him the edge, especially given his dominance at super middleweight. For him, this potential fight seems more about financial gain than a real challenge. However, fans and analysts see Crawford's skills and determination as factors that could make the matchup unpredictable. Canelo openly discussed Crawford's mobile fighting style, acknowledging the challenges it brings. Despite his reservations, the undisputed champion admitted the fight could happen if the financial stakes are high enough.
Money is right. I'm in, because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So yeah. If the money.
Canelo's remarks show the challenges of making this fight happen. While he respects Crawford's talent, Canelo is confident his weight class gives him a natural edge. His comments about money and style hint that the fight is more about spectacle and payday than pure competition. This fuels the debate. Can Crawford's skill overcome the weight gap, or is Canelo justified in relying on weight class limits? It's a shift for Canelo, who previously dismissed the idea, saying he wouldn't get credit for beating a smaller fighter.
Everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 ways class. I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that. No disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not? It's possible. And I can't go down anymore. But like he say, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because then everybody's gonna say it's too small, and then he need to enjoy.
Crawford's relentless pursuit of the matchup shows his determination, even moving up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance.
If Canelo gets through Jermell and then you guys fight, that fight would be gigantic.
And it's crazy because, like, in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah. But in my mind, in my heart, I don't think nobody too big, especially in a fight. I'm a fighter. But, like, I was thinking, like, man, it could happen. So you start really sitting down like, man, that fight maybe can happen. Okay, so now you start.
Crawford knows that fighting Canelo comes with a size disadvantage, but he's confident that his skill and strategy will be enough to overcome it. He believes his boxing style will allow him to rise above the physical challenge.
He bigger than me, but I'm faster. You know, so then you start doing the advantages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, man, we right there.
Yeah.
We right there, you know what I mean? So I was like, man.
And it's not like he didn't go up in weight as well.
Keith Thurman, a former world champion and astute analyst, recently shared his insights on why Terence Crawford could spot weaknesses in Canelo Alvarez. Drawing from Canelo's bout with Jermell Charlo, Thurman pointed out key moments that may convince Crawford he has a chance. His detailed analysis suggests that Crawford's strategic mind is uncovering patterns others may miss.
You know, when Canelo fought Charlo, besides the knockdown, Charlo was able to protect himself very well against Canelo's onslaught. The only problem was, while protecting himself, there was no offense.
Thurman pointed out that Charlo's defense kept the damage to a minimum after the knockdown, but noted his failure to counterattack, which gave Canelo the upper hand. He believes Crawford, known for his adaptability and offensive flair, would capitalize on these openings by mixing solid defense with aggressive offense.
And I believe, seeing what I saw, I believe Crawford saw the same thing. If Charlo can go so untouched by just being, you know, once he got dropped, he, you know, spider senses, boom, fully awakened, right? Boom. So now hands up, don't make no mistakes. So, you know, that's how it is. We saw it in the Munguia fight, you know, we saw it in the last fight. It's those little mistakes that end up having big consequences against Canelo, right?
Thurman suggests Crawford may study Canelo's recent fights to spot weaknesses in his offense, while Charlo relied on defense to survive. Crawford could blend these tactics with his boxing IQ to counter Canelo's power and create scoring chances. However, Thurman warns that any mistake against Canelo could shift the momentum in an instant.
Crawford is trash. Don't ever compare Crawford to Canelo again. Shout out young Triple G. He did his I felt he won. At least a draw. The judges. You weirdos. You guys suck ass. And Crawford, you're not pound for pound. Suck a You never fought nobody good. You fought Spence that had a car accident. You.
Stephen A. Smith, the well-known sports analyst, recently gave his thoughts on the potential mega fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. True to his candid style, Smith broke down the matchup, comparing Crawford's exceptional boxing skills to Canelo's raw power and physicality. While praising both fighters' greatness, he pointed out the key factors that could decide the outcome.
If Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And I'm wondering whether he could stay away. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. And that's where the problem lies.
What do you think a win like that would do for Crawford? Would that put him
I think it was
Mayweather?
He and I spoke about it. He and I spoke about it in Vegas.
Smith's analysis highlights the delicate balance between skill and strength. He believes Crawford's technical prowess could challenge Canelo, but without the power to back it up, the relentless Mexican champion might overpower him. Smith goes on to break down Canelo's fighting style and the dangers Crawford faces if he's hit by one of Canelo's shots.
Canelo is a very powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot. But to me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And
Smith's prediction highlights the high stakes of a Crawford versus Canelo fight. Crawford's technique could expose Canelo's reliance on power, but Canelo's strength might counter Crawford's finesse. Boxing fans are captivated by the potential matchup, with both fighters bringing power, speed, and skill. Welterweight contender Alexis Rocha, who sparred with both, noted their physical differences and strengths.
I mean, Terence Crawford, yes, there is weight classes for a reason. Canelo is a lot bigger. Crawford has that, he also has a good size to him where he has that good size and he has that reach and he has that boxing IQ. That's the most important thing when it comes to a boxing game is the IQ. You know, I think Crawford will hold his own very good in that fight. But I will lean a little bit more towards Canelo given the fact that he's more experienced and he's been in there with bigger guys.
Rowe's analysis suggests Canelo's size and power may overwhelm Crawford, despite his superior boxing IQ. Roacha believes Canelo's experience gives him the edge. The debate continues. Can Crawford's skill defy weight class limits? Canelo hasn't decided on his 2025 opponent yet, but Crawford seems likely. Crawford wants the fight and is awaiting a response.
Are you serious about fighting Canelo Alvarez?
Of course.
I know you're serious, but I've got to ask you for the people that are watching.
Of course
Are
I'm
you
serious.
confident that that fight is a fight that you can win?
Well, I'm always confident that I can win any fight that I step foot in the ring. You know, Canelo is a big, strong competitor. He's a great fighter. He's a future Hall of Famer. And that's what we in the game for, is to leave a legacy that will last, surpass our life.
FTV Boxing reports that Terence Crawford is a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez in May, though the date and venue, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, are yet to be confirmed. Sean Porter, a former welterweight champ who fought Crawford, expressed concern about Crawford stepping up to face Canelo. While Porter respects Crawford's skills, he worries the size and power difference could be a dangerous challenge for Crawford in this fight.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know. So I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean?
Porter warns that Crawford faces a tough challenge against Canelo, a powerful fighter in higher weight classes. While Crawford's skills are unquestioned, Porter highlights the risks of fighting a much bigger opponent. The debate continues. Does Crawford's talent outweigh the dangers, or is he taking on too much? Trainer Robert Garcia has hinted at a Cinco de Mayo matchup, and reports suggest Crawford is on Canelo's shortlist for a May 2025 fight in Las Vegas.
Well, I don't know if we'll get it Terence Crawford. I think Crawford is looking at, you know, just a huge fight with Canelo, and if he doesn't get it, he might not even fight anymore, you know, because he's told me that before. But there's so many other fights out there too, you know. We'll just take it fight by fight with Virgil.
Crawford fight could be moved to June, though nothing is confirmed. May is usually chosen for Canelo's U.S. events due to pay-per-view reasons. Crawford isn't Canelo's only option for his next title defense, as WBC's top contender, Christian M. Billy, is also in the mix, though he hasn't been made a mandatory challenger.
I know with the Benavides question, you get asked this all the time. I almost hate asking you, but you know, if someone's willing to put up the $250 million,
I mean,
would you negotiate down?
No less than 200.
No less than 200.
Ooh.
If they offer him $200 million, he's ready to face David Benavidez. As for Dimitri Bivol, a rematch remains a possibility, but Bivol has made it clear that while he's open to the idea of Canelo, it's not his top priority right now. He's focused on other goals at the moment.
Other than Crawford, what will make sense? Like, there's a couple of names out there.
Benavidez, but we know that's not going to.
There are few legitimate opponents for Canelo outside of Benavidez and Crawford, but a Canelo-Crawford fight especially if held in the US, could break the 1 million pay-per-view sales mark. Crawford's dominant win over Spence was his most successful PPV event, selling 700,000 homes in the US alone. Canelo, on the other hand, has fought 16 pay-per-view bouts, selling over 11.6 million homes and generating nearly $1 billion in revenue. A Las Vegas venue, possibly sponsored by a Turkish alik, is rumored, though nothing is official yet. Money talks, and Saudi billionaires are known to offer massive sums to get the fights they want. Canelo versus Crawford would be a thrilling showdown between two modern-day legends. Crawford, a 4-weight world champion, would likely fight at 168 pounds, a weight he's recently expressed interest in facing Canelo. While Canelo, 34, may be slowing down, Crawford, 37, hasn't shown signs of age yet, but that could change unexpectedly. If this fight happens in May, the world will be watching closely. The question remains, will Crawford's technical brilliance be enough to overcome Canelo's power, or will the size difference be too much? Share your thoughts in the comments below.